everyone, welcome to our maths session today, and today's session is all about calculating number bonds within 10. Number bonds means the numbers that we combine to make a total number. For example, if we are making number bonds to 4, it would be 4 and 0 or 0 and 4, 2 and 2, 3 and 1 or 1 plus 3, and there are different combinations that make each number within 10. That's what we're going to look at today. It's always useful to start with concrete apparatus. So here I've got some shells. At home you might have counters, you might have pieces of pasta or stones. It doesn't really matter as long as it's things that you can move about to work out the calculation. I've got 10 shells here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I only want 4 to start with. So I'm going to count my 4 and then remove the others. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm taking away the other shells so that now I'll be able to calculate my number bonds to 4 using the 4 shells that are left. If you have an egg box at home, you might be able to move your shells into the egg box, how you're used to working at school. I've got 4 shells and I want to find out how many different ways I can calculate making 4. At the moment, the shells are all facing upwards. I'm going to turn one that way so that we can see the underside. I've now got 3 facing that way and 1 upside down. 3 add 1 totals 4. If I take another one and turn it upside down, I've now got 2 and 2 that totals 4. If I turn this one upside down, it's 1 add 3 totals 4. And finally the last one, upside down, I've now got 4 and 0. So I've got different ways of calculating 4, number bonds within 4. Now I'm going to show you how to write those calculations. Let's start with those 4 shells that were all facing the correct way. 4 of them facing upwards, add 0 of them upside down. Then I moved 1 and turned it over. So I moved from 0 upside down to 1, and that meant that instead of 4, I've now got 3 the correct way. 3 add 1 equals 4. I then turned another 1 upside down, so I've got 2 upside down and another 2 that were the correct way. 2 add 2 totals 4. As I turned the next one upside down, I had 3 upside down and 1 that remained the correct way up. And finally, there were 0 shells left the correct way and 4 were upside down. And now you have your number bonds to 4. Thinking about number bonds within 10, you can work out different calculations for all of the numbers up to 10, and it's really important to know these by heart all of the time. So have a practice of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now I'm going to show you number bonds to 10. In school, you've been singing Farmer Pete. He has 10 sheep. And I'm going to imagine that these white counters are Farmer Pete's white sheep. And at the moment on the green piece of card, they are inside the pen. But we're going to move them so that they start to escape one at a time outside of the pen like this. Starting off, we have 10 in the pen and 0 outside of the pen. Now I'm going to move 1 away. So 1 leaves the pen, and I now have 9, add 1. I still have 10 sheep in total, but 1 has left the pen. Carrying on with that pattern, we can now move on from 9, add 1. We move this one out of the pen. We have 5 and 3, which makes 8. So 8 and 2 is a number bond to 10. Moving a further sheep out of the pen, we now have 5 and 2, totaling 7. 7 add 3 is a number bond to 10. Moving a further sheep out of the pen, we now have 5 and 1 is 6. 6 and 4 totals 10. Join in with me now if you can. Move another one, and we now have 5 and 5 totals 10. 5 and 1 more totals 6. 6 and 4 totals 10. 5 and 2 is 7. 7 and 3 makes 10. 5 add 3 is 8. 8 and 2 is 10. 5 add 4 is 9. 9 and 1 makes 10. And finally, we move the last one out, and we now have 10 add 0 equals 10. And those are our number bonds to 10. Now you might like to use your number bonds to 10 to create a game of snap. If you look on the paper, I've written down the number bonds to 10. 10 add 0, 9 add 1, 8 add 2, 7 add 3, 6 add 4 and 5 add 5. On the opposite side of the paper, I've written the inverse. That means that I've moved the numbers the opposite way round. Instead of 10 add 0, it's 0 add 10. It still totals 10. 9 add 1 or 1 add 9 still totals 10, and so on. If you take some pieces of paper and write your number bonds onto the pieces of paper at least twice, then you'll be able to make a snap game. Like here, I've written 10 add 0 and 10 add 0, which means when I fold over all of my cards and shuffle them, I have a chance of playing snap and matching my cards. I've put a tricky one in to make sure that you're looking really carefully, because 0 add 10 is not the same as 10 add 0, it's the inverse. So we need to make sure that we have them the same way round as well as the opposite way, and some other number bonds. That means that if you and a partner are playing snap and you turn your card over, eventually you will come to a snap. Not today for me, but maybe next time. So there's an introduction to number bonds within 10. Make sure at home that you practice your 4, your 5, your 6, 7, 8, 9 as well as your 10 number bonds. You need to make sure you know them all off by heart, so that if somebody says 3 add 7, you know it's 10. Or if someone says 4 plus 2, you know it's 6. Have a go over and over again to get really good at remembering those number bonds. See you again next time. Bye bye for now.